Am I the asshole for refusing to demote my dog after my sister gave her baby the same name? Wait, what? All right, hold on here. I'm not saying anything yet. I, 26 female, have a dog named Charlie. Charlie is my golden retriever I adopted 4 years ago. She's my best, and he's my best buddy. All right. My sister Emily, 29, recently had her first child, a baby boy, and her husband named him Charlie. So the wife had no say in the name at all. Okay. I guess that still goes on nowadays.
Who is he?
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
That is his name, sir. Asshole, major asshole.
And his cousin?
He's an asshole too, sir. Gun is made first class, Philip asshole.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
At first, I thought it funny and didn't really think much of it, but Emily pulled me aside during a family gathering and said it was confusing and disrespectful of me to keep calling my dog Charlie now that her son had the same name. She asked me to read. So, your dog, who, for some people, a dog can be a member of the family as well, especially, depending on how long you've had the dog. If you've had him since he was a puppy, then he's kind of like your baby. To you, you guys are like, to him, you guys are like family. He looks at you like you're a member of his pack. He protects you and you take care of him. Dogs are very family oriented. That's why they watch over us and watch over our houses and everything. Not just because they live there, but they're taking care of the person who takes care of them too. They understand that we're there for them and we're taking care of them and we're showing them love, so they show us that love back. Dogs are very intuitive animals and they understand a lot. While they can't communicate the exact same way as humans do, and while maybe they aren't able to be vocal or anything, they show their affection and they show how much they care for us in their own way. So it's a matter of understanding that, and to then tell someone who has taken a dog from probably, again, like the time that they were a puppy. And I don't know about you, but for me, if I do get a dog and I get them, I want to get a puppy. And if I do get a puppy, I want to be the one training it. I won't send it to obedience school or anything like that. I will train it myself like I did with my last dog. And I learned from training my last dog some things that I would need to do with a new dog. But right now, I don't have time for a puppy. I don't have money for a puppy. I don't have blah, 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 blah. If I get it at the future, maybe I will. And I know what I want and what I'd be looking for and what I'd be willing to accept and blah, blah, blah. But to sit there and tell someone who has taken this dog from a puppy and maybe done all these things, taught it everything, really been like a mother or father or some kind of parental unit to this dog, and then tell him, hey, your dog ain't good enough anymore to have the same name because my baby wants that name. I mean, that is kind of demeaning in my opinion. So I don't know. Let's I told her no. Charlie has been his name for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years, which for a dog that's a long time. Sorry. He knows it, he responds to it, and it's on all of his paperwork. Changing it would be weird for him and for me. She got really upset and said it's not fair for her son to share a name with a dog, especially in family setting. She thinks it'll lead to jokes and confusion as her son grows up. Then she should have had that discussion with her husband prior to naming her child that. Since your dog had already had that name, if this was something that was going to come up, then her and her husband should have sat down and had that discussion prior to that happening. Not to mention, they should have come to you, because if they were having that and thinking, oh, we should do this, then it should have been an issue at that point. Before the baby was born, they should have come to you and said, hey, we want you to change your dog's name. Then you could have told them to fuck off back then, instead of waiting till now to be nice and say, I don't think so. But no. My parents have weighed in, and while my dad says it's ridiculous to expect me to change my dog's name, my mom says I should just consider it. That's usually the way. Moms are usually a little bit more of a soft touch, especially when it comes to anything that's like animals. They're like, it's just an animal. We're not talking a person. So, yeah, just to keep the peace. Now, Emily's barely speaking to me, and a few family members think I'm being stubborn. I have no idea how I'm in the wrong here. You're not. It's the world gone crazy. I love my dog, and I didn't name him to spite anyone. I also think it's not my fault they chose a name already. Exactly. I mean, that'd be like if you had a kid and you had named your kid Tom, and then your sister had a kid and she was like, oh yeah, Tom, that's a good name for our kid. Then she's like, oh shit, my sister's already got a kid named Tom. Fuck. Oh well. Oh, what if you had a kid and then she got a dog and wanted to name the dog Charlie? Would she have come to you, or would she have expected you to go to her and say, you can't name your dog Charlie? I've got a kid named Charlie. What if roles were reversed and she had the, I mean, no, I got it. I got to call this. I have to. This is it. That's all there is to it.
The verdict is...
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below for me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
All right. So now we are to, am I the asshole if I tell my boyfriend he can't move into my apartment with his dog? Probably not. I mean, especially most apartments, they don't usually have, you either have a dog or you don't. Well, let's see. My boyfriend, he's a 33 male, and she, a 30 female. OP is a 30 female. I have been dating for a little over a year. Okay. Did long distance for the first half. 6 months ago, he moved back to my country for work. We agreed it was too soon to move in together, so he moved in with his parents. Okay, so far so good. Now, here's the thing. He has a massive dog, some South African breed. Really? He's had for 5 years from a previous relationship and a Bengal cat. Bengals are big, too. His parents, especially his dad, don't vibe with the dog. His dad's constantly complaining about her barking and how needy she is. First of all, right there, barking and needy. So that means if the boyfriend ain't around, she's going to be loud and she's going to be barky. And if you are leaving her in the apartment where other people are, she's going to disturb others. So right now, I'm going to say, OP, you're leaning toward, not being at this point. But let's see how it goes. We still have time here. You could still be an asshole. I don't know. Recently, we started talking about moving in together. I'm low-key panicking because I can't stand his dog. I've tried. I really have. I thought maybe I'd warm up to her, but it's the opposite. She barks at everything. Someone knocking, something falling, random noises. Pardon. And it's not a little chihuahua bark. It's a huge bark. Sometimes it catches me off guard. It catches me off guard. And I'll get so irritated. Also, if you don't pay attention to her, she starts whining. She can't get in bed. Whine. The door is closed. Whine. She's also scared of loud noises. So if she hears something loud, she'll hide and pee on the... You can't have that in an apartment. No, the more I read, the less you are an asshole, because, wow, you're going to have a dog that's ruining carpets or wood floors or linoleum unless you're putting down pee pads all over your house, and then your house is going to smell like piss, and you got to clean them up all the time, and then the dog's barking at everything. What happens when you got to go out? The dog's going to be whining and barking the whole time you're gone, peeing everywhere. It's just going to be horrendous, and every neighbor in the place is going to hate you. No, you can't. It's you or the dog, honey. You got to tell him, baby, it's me or the dog. It's not, I really hate saying that, but because usually I'm a big proponent of making sure that owners and dogs stay together, especially, 5 years he's had the dog. That's a long time, but you cannot live together with that dog in an apartment. Maybe you could learn to love the dog over a very, very, very long time in a big sprawling house where the dog has room to roam and run and come back as it so pleases. But definitely not in a fucking apartment. So wow, so far, and the more I read, it gets better in your case for not. On top of that, she complicates our plans. For example, I suggest a weekend away. He'll say, but what about the dog. Frustrates because I already feel burdened by her and I'm not even living with her yet. Exactly. For context, I live in an apartment with 3 cats. I'm a total cat person. I don't even let my own cat sleep in my bed because I'm a light sleeper. But when my boyfriend stays over, I've let his Bengal cat sleep with us because she's attached to him. And honestly, I like his cat. But living in a small apartment with 4 cats and a dog, I don't like. Exactly. That's my personal nightmare. And if we were moving to a house with a yard, maybe I could deal. Exactly. See? But that's not the plan. I'm stuck. I love my boyfriend. But the idea of living with this dog makes me miserable. At the same time, I feel like asking him to rehome her is such a horrible thing of me to do. It will probably ruin us. So would I be the asshole if I told him how I feel and decided not to move in with him? No, you wouldn't. At this point, I don't feel like it. I think that what's going on here is you two aren't ready to move in together. Him and that dog have a good relationship, and that's great. But obviously, unless you're going to have the space, you're already living in an apartment with 3 cats. You're going to add another cat and a dog on top of that. Another cat in and of itself is too much. Now you're going to add a dog on top of that, and what sounds like a big dog. This is far too much for that size apartment by the sounds of it to begin with. And most apartments, at least if we're talking somewhere in the United States, I don't know, we could be talking anywhere in the world, so I'm not going to make an assumption, but if we were talking here, so going based on experience that I have, some places are okay with 1, maybe 2 animals. And sometimes if it's a cat, you can sneak a few extra in, 1 or 2 extra in. But when you start adding in a big dog, you run the risk of getting caught and getting caught big time. And that can include getting kicked out of the apartment, as well as getting different things called on you or lawsuits or things like that. So this is not something that I would say, you are trying to be thoughtful, but honestly, you are.
The verdict is. The verdict is.
Not an asshole. Not an asshole at all. Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below for me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Am I the asshole for putting my foot down and saying my mother-in-law is not welcome in our house? I know of mother-in-laws. I know of this term. Anyways, let's read on. My mother-in-law has ignored my existence for the past 3 years. This is when her last visit was. She and my husband don't have a great relationship, but he hasn't cut her off completely and keeps her somewhat updated on his and the 3 kids' lives. Obviously the rift sounds like it has something to do with you. Sounds like she might not be too of the mind that you are such a good person, but she wants to know about him and the kids. It sounds like it could be maybe a jealousy thing. Some mothers do get that way instead of seeing the potential daughter-in-law as what she is, in addition to the family, someone who's going to come in and make the family bigger and brighter. They look at them as someone who's going to come in and take their son away from them, pull him away, or pull their child, I should say, away from them. And it's just, it turns into an us versus them situation when, again, any family should not be an us versus them. It should be everyone working harmoniously together for making the family and everything better. But here we are. It is what it is. The issue comes now from us moving houses and my husband casually mentioning, I guess I have to invite my mother soon enough so she can see the house and visit the kids. I turned to look at him and he said, I'm sorry, but she's no longer welcome to stay at our house. So make sure tell her that if she wants to visit, she will have to get a hotel. He got angry saying that he doesn't love her. He doesn't love her visits either, but that she's his only family pretty much, and that it's his house too. I said in turn, it's not fair that she completely ignores my existence for 3 years, then comes and stays in my house, making me uncomfortable in my own space. Fair point. I mean, she is asking to come into what is basically home turf, and if she's going to be dismissive of you, and that, I would actually I wouldn't call that just dismissive. I would call that outright disrespectful. To completely ignore you within your own house, but still expect you to probably, make food or clean up after her or whatever. Then yeah, that is asking a little bit much, and your husband should be aware of that, and should be telling her, hey, you either need to mend fences because this is just as much her house as it is my house, or you are going to have to, stay somewhere close by. He should be supporting you, but also he should be supporting her, and in so much as saying, this is my wife and you need to be respectful of her and that relationship as well. Okay. Anyways, I work from home now, so I'm still here all the time. He would still go to work as usual and leave me with her in the house all day. The way I see it is, you want to ignore my existence, that's perfectly fine by me, but this extends to my house and my space. I'm not saying she's not allowed to visit them. I'm just saying she will need to make other arrangements for her stay, because she will not be staying over with us. My husband says I'm putting him in an awkward situation now, with him pretty much having to choose between his mother and his wife. No, he's not. I would argue he's not choosing between his mother and his wife. He's standing up to his mother and saying, you need to be accepting of me and my family. Not me and my kids, me and my entire family. Because if you are ignoring my wife, if you are putting her down in any way, if you are calling her anything, if you're saying anything bad about her, or just by ignoring her and causing her to feel disrespectful or disrespected, then you're doing it to your grandkids as well, because they're half her just as much as they are half him. So anything you do to him, you're doing to her. So if you're treating them good, that's great. But if you're treating her bad, they're seeing you treating their mother bad, treating the woman that is raising them bad, treating the woman that they love, treating the woman that is another half of their life, their DNA. And they're seeing that person get treated bad. You guys, you and your mother are the ones that need to do better, not OP. No, she's definitely not taking things too far, and she is definitely not the asshole. You cannot go into someone's house and show that level of disrespect and expect them to literally, because you're going to have to basically take care of her. She's coming into your house and staying under your care for that time. No, you're not the asshole.
The verdict is
Where are we at? I think we're